Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Policing Matters on policeone.com. I am your host, Jim Dudley. And in one instance, you posed as a busboy. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, so it was I believe a 1996 sexual assault of a child. We had good evidence. We had a male profile for DNA, and we used genealogy to work back to a potential suspect pool. And once we got to that suspect pool, we started eliminating them one by one. And obviously, if we go knock on the door and say, "Hey, look, this is what I'm investigating," if we're too close to the suspect, bells and whistles go off, alarms get keyed, and this person knows what we're doing. So we don't want him to flee. We don't want him to destroy evidence. So we have to do it surreptitiously under color of darkness. We sneak up. One of the most common ways that we do it is by collecting trash. So it's typically not very hard to look up the trash schedule in a certain neighborhood and sneak up at 3 a.m. while everybody's sleeping and take bottles and cans and whatever else might have DNA and scoot away with them before we're ever detected. In this case in particular, this gentleman lived in an apartment complex, so he had communal trash, which even if we were able to watch him walk down the stairs and throw his bag on top of the heap, it would have been difficult to get to it because it was also a gated complex. So we would stick out. So we had to get creative, and I started looking at social media. What type of pattern of life can I determine for this guy? And I quickly latched onto his brother's social media because his brother posted really regularly. And I noticed that every year they were at the same bar on St. Patrick's Day locally. And so I went to my department and I said, I think he's going to be at this bar. This holiday is 5 days away. I need you to trust me. I need you to cut me loose and let me do this. And fortunately, they agreed. And so then I got a hold of the bar owner, and I'm sure he wouldn't want his bar identified or him identified, but I'll say that he's a really good guy. It took 2 seconds of explaining who my victim was and what happened to her for him to say, whatever you need, we'll get out of the way, whatever you need. So I volunteered. I said, I'll be a busboy for the entire day. I don't know when he's going to show up, but I'll be there from open to close, and I'll be waiting. So what we did is I put on the uniform, and they introduced me to staff as the new guy and said, he's just here to help, run him ragged. My feet hurt like hell at the end of that shift. But we had a couple of detectives in the bar as patrons to be my cover because I had to be distracted and moving around without any kind of protection. And then we had a surveillance element at the suspect's house to be able to give us updates when he started moving in our direction. And sure enough, around, I think it was 7 or 8 o'clock at night, he showed up, and I made a beeline to him and said, let me get you a table. I put him in a position where I could continue to watch him and collect things. And ultimately we got, I believe it was 2 plastic straws that he had been drinking out of, a plastic cup that he had his beer from, and a bunch of half-eaten chicken wings. And ultimately we got a 1-to-1 match on his DNA.
Wow. Well, they got a day's work out of you, but you solved the case. That was great.